Scientists study consciousness for decades, yet cannot explain where thoughts go when we die. Neuroscience maps every brain cell but hits a wall when explaining what makes you uniquely you. Between ancient wisdom and modern research lies a fascinating possibility that challenges everything we think we know about death and consciousness. Today we're talking about reincarnation, but we're not asking you to believe anything. We're examining evidence that billions of people live by daily, while some have systematically erased this knowledge from their lives. If you enjoy investigations that challenge conventional thinking, subscribe and stay with us as we explore one of humanity's most suppressed concepts. Here's what might surprise you most. Christianity originally taught reincarnation for its first 500 years. Early Christian communities accepted that consciousness survives death and returns in new bodies as fundamental truth. Then something changed that would reshape human understanding forever. Over half of humanity currently lives their daily lives understanding reincarnation as reality. Buddhist monks predict exactly when and where they will be reborn. Children in various cultures remember past lives with startling accuracy that researchers cannot explain. Yet, in many places, we're told this is impossible. Let's investigate what happened to this knowledge and why its suppression continues today. Around 500 AD, Christian doctrine began shifting away from reincarnation teachings. The early church councils decided to focus on different theological frameworks. This transition represented a fundamental change in how Western civilization would understand death and consciousness. When people believe consciousness continues beyond death, they often develop different relationships with authority and established institutions. Certain Christian communities in medieval Europe continued preserving the original teachings. These groups maintained forms of Christianity that included reincarnation, mystical practices, and advanced spiritual knowledge. They represented alternative approaches to understanding divine connection that emphasized individual spiritual experience over institutional guidance. However, these communities faced increasing pressure from mainstream religious authorities. Their different interpretations of Christian doctrine created theological conflicts that sometimes escalated into serious confrontations. Many of these alternative Christian movements eventually disappeared from European culture through various historical pressures. What's fascinating is how completely these teachings vanished from Western consciousness. Entire libraries of mystical Christian knowledges simply stopped appearing in historical records, yet the fundamental questions these communities explored never really disappeared. They just moved underground or merged in different forms. The shift from reincarnation-based Christianity to resurrection-focused doctrine created entirely different frameworks for understanding human purpose and cosmic justice. This change influenced how Western civilization would approach questions of meaning, morality, and individual responsibility for centuries. Let's examine what current research reveals about consciousness and identity. 90% of your atoms are replaced every 3 months, yet you remain consistently you. Your memories persist. Your personality continues. Your identity stays intact despite complete molecular replacement. This raises a fundamental question. Where is your identity actually stored if not in your physical matter? Ancient traditions describe humans as having 7 distinct layers of existence. Modern science is beginning to recognize as similar structures. You have your physical body that everyone can see. You have your vital energy field that Kirlian photography can measure. You have your emotional patterns that brains can track. You have your mental processes that cognitive sciences studies. But these represent only the beginning layers. Beyond what current instruments can measure, lie the aspects of consciousness that survive physical death. When you die, only the densest layers dissolve. Your soul, which consists of your emotional patterns and mental memories, continues, with all your experiences and unresolved patterns intact. This creates the conditions that determine your next incarnation. Consider this framework. You consciously choose where, when, and to whom you'll be born. Every challenge, every advantage, every family situation gets selected by your higher consciousness to resolve unfinished business from previous existences. Child prodigies who play piano at age 3 might be accessing skills from previous incarnations. Unexplained phobias could represent trauma from earlier lives. Birthmarks that match historical wounds suggest the body remembers everything across lifetimes. We're not claiming this is absolute truth. We're investigating patterns that many people use to understand their existence. What would change if you considered this possibility seriously? How would you live differently if every person you meet represents part of your soul's curriculum? That difficult boss who challenges you constantly, that toxic relationship that keeps repeating patterns. These might be mirrors showing you exactly what needs healing within your own consciousness. Not punishment, but education designed by your own higher wisdom. Karma operates like a cosmic accounting system. Every action creates consequences that must be balanced across lifetimes. But here's where this framework becomes practical. Conscious awareness can accelerate this balancing process dramatically. You don't have to wait lifetimes to resolve patterns that cause suffering. People who understand reincarnation tend to take full responsibility for their circumstances. They see challenges as opportunities for accelerated growth. They treat others with deeper compassion because they recognize everyone is working through their own curriculum of awakening. This raises profound questions about forgiveness, justice, and personal responsibility. If someone chooses their life circumstances for learning purposes, how does that change our understanding of victimhood and blame? We're not providing answers because these questions require personal investigation. Each person must examine their own experience and determine what resonates as truth for them. Consider keeping a journal of unexplained skills, instant connections with strangers, or recurring dreams that feel like memories. Notice patterns in your relationships and challenges that repeat across different contexts. Your consciousness might be eternal. Your journey might be infinite. Your potential might be unlimited. These remain possibilities worth investigating rather than beliefs to adopt. We don't promise answers. We promise better questions. Subscribe if you want to join our collective investigation into consciousness, ancient wisdom, and the mysteries that current science cannot yet explain. Drop a comment sharing any experiences you've had that might relate to past life memories or unexplained connections. Your insights contribute to our collective understanding. This is One Paradox Collective, where we explore the questions that matter most and embrace uncertainty as our greatest teacher.